This week on Inside Boulder News, Boulder Fire Chief Larry Donner retires after 43 years in the fire service. South Boulder celebrates the opening of a new park named after a beloved Boulder veteran, and Boulder's community cultural plan begins to take shape. Welcome to Inside Boulder News. I'm Ashley Prill. After 43 years in the fire service and 23 years serving Boulder as our fire chief, Larry Donner retired this week. Though a few things have changed since Donner began his career, commitment to community and public safety will never go out of style.
When I started, we had what was called three-quarter boots, and they were essentially fishing boots that you would roll up, and that would keep your legs dry when you went into a fire. And our protective gear was a canvas coat, and then we had plastic helmets that would melt if you got in any severe heat, and breathing apparatus was optional. So since then, the protective gear has improved dramatically. Our safety procedures have improved dramatically, and so it's a much safer job than it was. You know, Boulder's a unique community. Boulder at least allowed me, to get ahead of the fire problem. Rather than be reactive, Boulder allowed us, through the use of codes and public education and things like that, to really reduce the fire risk, both for the community and our firefighters.
I feel like Larry has been a visionary for the Boulder community and for our fire department, really focusing on safety of our community, well-being, and the interface that we have with our neighboring jurisdictions. So he's been just a model fire chief, and it's going to make me quite sad to see him leave.
I think his biggest legacy is just going to be kind of the people he's kind of mentored and that he's helped develop. And he will never say it, but I will. He's a pretty wise guy. And I don't mean that like a wiseacring way.
I will say this. Larry's shoes are, I don't know, he's probably size 9 or size 10, a little bit smaller than mine, but his professional shoes are huge. It's going to be hard to fill those shoes for me and anyone after him. But he has earned his retirement, and I wish him absolutely the best.
You can't last as a fire chief for 23 years in a community unless your crews are just doing outstanding work. And the fire crews here, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, provide such solid service to this community. That's really made my career possible. So it's a real honor to have worked in this community.
Deputy Fire Chief Michael Calderazzo is serving as interim fire chief while the city's leadership team works with the Human Resources Department to finalize the selection process. A date has not yet been set to fill the position. After years in the making, Boulder has a brand new park with a very distinguished name. On a rainy night last week, community members, family, and neighbors gathered to celebrate the opening of Bauer Park. Colonel William Bauer was a U.S. Air Force aviator, World War II veteran, dedicated member of the Boulder community, and the last living member of the historic Doolittle raid until his death in 2011.
Well, I think it's a great honor. I'm really happy that Boulder decided to name the park after my dad because, he loved Boulder, as I love Boulder.
It's a very rewarding experience. We get to work with the community to find out what their needs and wants and desires are, and ultimately to get something constructed like we did tonight for Bauer Park. For me, as a designer, one of the things that I like about this park is that there's a lot of movement in the topography and the grading out there. We worked with the neighborhood to really design a space that is open so kids can go out and toss a football around, toss a frisbee around.
I didn't know Bill Bauer, but I was a member of the Mason Memorial Church that sold the land to the city, which made it available for the park. Several years after that sale had gone through, I was walking through the park and I was thinking, we need to get this going. So I started talking to the neighbors, and we all met with the city Parks Department, and they gave us kind of the path forward of how to start working with the Park and Rec's Advisory Board. And I then joined the Park and Rec's Advisory Board and made sure that that was part of the agenda that we discussed. And more neighbors got involved with various aspects of it, and finally this day has arrived that it's been dedicated. It was sort of the lesson I was teaching my daughter on the way up here, was that the city government is here to serve the people, not the other way around. And this, I felt like, reinforced that notion in my heart. I just look forward to meeting more neighbors and hanging out with my grandkids and kids there. So.
Bill Bauer Park is located at 3201 Table Mesa Drive. To learn more about the design, development, and naming process, visit bouldercolorado.gov. Through neighborhood conversations and focus groups, Boulder's community cultural plan is starting to take shape this week. To make sure the plan reflects a true community vision, staff is seeking ideas from as many people as possible.
And the question is, what is our community vision for arts, culture, and the creative economy over the next 9 years? And from that very simple question, we're going to bring out a lot of ideas, and we want everyone to get involved in helping us articulate those ideas, because this is really going to be a community cultural plan. It's going to be for all of us to use over almost a decade to enhance what we have, to take advantage of all of the great parts of Boulder's culture, and to build new things, and we need everyone's ideas to make that happen.
You can join in on the conversation at the Farmers Market this weekend from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more details about the Community Cultural Plan, visit boulderarts.org. This weekend, you can also see Boulder's history come to life at Columbia Cemetery. To kick off the Halloween season, Historic Boulder and the city's Parks and Recreation Department are hosting Meet the Spirits. On Sunday, October 19th from noon to 5 p.m., more than 30 of Boulder's dearly departed, including Eben G. Fine, Mary Rippon, and James P. Maxwell, will be brought back to life. For tickets and information, visit historicboulder.org or call 303-444-5192. On Monday, October 20th, you're invited to share your thoughts about improving Boulder at 2 events at the Boulder Museum of Contemporary Art. From 4 to 6 p.m., staff members working on the access management and parking strategy will be holding an open house. The goal of the city's AMPS is to continuously improve programs and strategies to address the unique access and parking needs of different parts of the city. At 6 p.m., the next step in the civic area parkland design process begins. There will be a presentation discussing park options, design vignettes, and park programming opportunities, as well as themed breakout groups and a public forum and discussion. More information about both events can be found on the city's website. A quick reminder before we close out the show, Boulder Community Hospital Emergency Room has been relocated from Broadway and Balsam to the hospital's Foothills campus located at 4747 Arapahoe. This move is meant to improve access to critical care for most residents of Boulder and Broomfield counties. Inpatient behavioral health and rehabilitation services will still remain at the Broadway and Balsam location. More information is available on the Boulder Community Hospital website. Thank you for watching Inside Boulder News. Stay in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter by submitting news tips and questions. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe.